Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast. We're a video game podcast that primarily focused on, random stuff, news, what we've been playing.
Video games
in general, I guess. My name is Brian.
I'm Zach.
I'm Caitlyn.
And I'm not Troy.
She's not Troy. She is a special guest because we are filming live for us in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
The Tokyo, the motherland. And,
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. That was not Sugoi at all.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was Sugoi AF.
Joe is our editor and also our note taker, the person that sets everything up for these things.
Our producer.
My wife.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
I say it enough on the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here in Japan. We've been here for about a week or so. Some more, some less. But yeah, we're gonna talk to you guys about the news, what we've been playing.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Whoa. The arcade was awesome.
We played some arcades and stuff like that. We were able to go to the Kawasaki Warehouse, which is a dope butt arcade. Caitlin's been slowly dying as she's been here.
I had just a strong urge now to just give a huge string of expletives just because you said that. Just like, beep, for a solid minute.
That's actually going to be every single cough Caitlyn does. It's just going to be bleeped out. Well, let's see. Let's start this week with, I guess, what we've been playing-ish. Because, Zach, you got to catch up a lot on Secura, right?
That was like my primary focus before we left because you and I both talked about it. We were like, being on for 2 weeks is not a good idea with a game like that.
No.
You start playing it, you want to beat it. So I'm like, I'm going to beat this game. And I was pretty shocked. I beat there's like one end game optional boss. That was the last thing I did before I left. So I think there's like the 3 bosses you have to fight in a row for like the real ending. So that's where I left off. I didn't actually get to try it, but man, that game gets freaking wild.
Yeah.
Like from where we talked about, because there's some weird stuff in that game, but it's like it's mostly kind of grounded. It's meant to be like this era of Japan. It's like warring clans and stuff. But then it starts to lean into like Japanese mysticism real hardcore.
Yeah. Like
one of my favorite enemy types ever shows up in one part of that game, and I was telling her about it because she was not around whenever I was playing it. But there are these like slug-looking dudes who just sit and chill, and they play these like flutes and all the other music, because the game's very music heavy, which is unusual for their games. But then the music will just die, and you'll just hear these dudes playing flutes, and you can kill them in like one hit, basically.
Okay.
But I accidentally finally like got one mad, and it came after me, and it will like play the flute at you and put like this like spell on you, and if the gauge fills up, it sucks your vitality out of you, and you turn into an old man, basically. And then all of a sudden, your katana, you're using it as like a walking stick, and you can barely move, and your health bar is like this tiny, and you're just like, no. I'm like, this is like the weirdest enemy I've ever seen, but yeah, the game gets really good.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, it should be real fun to come back to those last 3 bosses.
I'm confident. I'm feeling good about it. I think I'm gonna go for the platinum on this one.
All right.
I think so.
Good luck. Because don't you have to get every single ending as well?
Yes, but I'm gonna save scum that.
All right.
I primed myself for, I should have for 3 endings, but I messed something up because something's time sensitive.
Okay.
And it's one of those games that I refuse to believe that any normal human just figured it. I mean, obviously somebody had to, but there are ridiculous steps you have to go through to unlock 2 of the endings.
Wow.
But if you do everything right, you can kind of save scum and create a fixed save point and reload and get the 3 endings, and then you have to play through again for the bad ending.
Oh, yeah.
But because not each ending, but some of the endings have endgame bosses tied to them. There's a trophy for killing all the bosses. So
yeah, I gotcha. Okay, well, good luck with that, sir. That's what I'm gonna say. How about you, Caitlyn? Have you been playing like phone games, or what you been playing?
Mostly phone games. I was playing Persona before we left, but I knew if I started playing, I'd get in the middle of a palace and I would be screwed because I would have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly I've just been playing Reigns, Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
And then Blades.
So one word games.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Raids and Blades. Because I'm getting in that Game of Thrones return hype.
Yeah.
So I've played this game probably 4 or 5 times and only have gotten about halfway through because I either got a new phone or I accidentally somehow corrupted my save or whatever. So I'm about halfway through. I've unlocked like half the people in it.
Okay.
And then Blades, I'm up to level 8.
Ooh.
Yeah, so unlocking a bunch of those chests. My problem is I had like 4 gold chests. 6 hours at a time.
Ooh.
I clicked on one to say open this one, and then I accidentally double clicked and it used up like 60 of my gems to auto open it. And I was like, I didn't want that to happen. I was just going on a plane for 12 hours. I had more than enough time for that chest to open by itself. But it was so slow to react, and it didn't double check or anything, so it used up a bunch of my gems, and I was pissed.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
All right, well, phone games, that's about par for course for traveling and vacation. For me, also, it's just been phone games. The last couple weeks, there was a Evangelion game I discovered on the phone, so I've been playing that. It's actually kind of fun. I can't really fault them. I don't spend any money with it, so I've actually gotten a good amount of stuff from it. I think only like 100 people play this game though, because I'm like rank 100 or like under 100 something, but I'm like really not high level. So I just think either the server I'm on, there's only 100 people playing or whatnot, because I'm like server 16 or something. So that's all I can think of, because I should not be anywhere near high ranks, because I do not spend money in this game.
Imagine if you did, though.
Oh my God. If I did, I would probably also not be anywhere near it, because this is one of those games where it's like, oh, you could spend, $1 to do this one thing, or you could spend $75 and unlock it all right now. Like, nah, that's okay. So that game's been pretty fun. It's got a lot of stuff to do. And another game, more recent game I've been playing, is called AFK Arena. It just launched, I think, in the United States. It's an idle game, but it's very hands-on for an idle game. And you play against other people as well. You can form guilds. It's a lot of fun. It's just like Evangelion. It's one of those. There's a lot more to do than I thought there would be. I thought it was just going to be some sort of just little thing, and man, it is involved.
That one's actually been advertised to me in a couple of other AFK games I play.
That's why the advertisement worked on me, because I was like, AFK Arena, you look cute enough. I'll play some. I'll add it to my repertoire, and it's been sucking some time, man. It's been good though, because there's a lot of train rides where I only have 10 minutes or so, and that's a real easy 5-10 minutes I can kill for that.
That's the other game I've been playing that reminds me.
Yeah.
When I'm on trains is when I start gifting people in Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go has been pretty heavily intensive for all you guys, right?
Yeah.
I think I've opened it twice or 3 times since I've been here.
Yeah, you need to update your app.
I know.
At some point tonight.
That just happened today. It's not my fault.
Listen, we are 7 days away from that sweet 100,000 XP.
Yeah, I know. We are only 7 days? All right.
Yeah.
I'll get into that.
So you got to be on that now.
And then also, what is it? Tomorrow we also have the Community Day.
Yes.
For Bagon, I believe. So.
Just read that email this morning.
Nice.
So
nice.
I didn't even know that was a thing until.
How about you, Joe? What you been playing?
I've been rocking Dr. Mario on the Nintendo Switch like I do on planes for like 6 hours. Start at level 20 and see how many I can get past it before the game screws me.
What's their highest level that you've gotten?
Ever? It was like 37, but I think on the last year or two of the Switch one, or the last year of the online Switch one, 28.
Okay, so 28's your highest for the Switch.
For the Switch one. They've changed the dropping mechanism. It goes way faster on high now than it ever did before, and it doesn't actually, you can't flip them just before the end if you've touched down. And I like to fast drop everything so I know exactly when I need to click the button and not wait.
That's probably the speed it's always was meant to be, but the hardware couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So now the hardware can handle it. So now it's the speed it's supposed to be.
It just takes away the precision from me, man. I can't handle it. So.
And then also you've been pretty heavily into Pokemon Go too, right?
Oh my God. All day, every day.
All of the hatching of the eggs.
Oh my God. I'm about that Poke life. I will be able to catch them all someday.
Nice. Well, let's see here. Let's get into some news, I guess. Caitlyn's wrote it down because I have not been following anything since I've been here.
A lot of just small things that we can quickly touch upon.
Sure.
And then we'll go. First off, Hideo Kojima and Norman Reedus have announced that they're going to announce something at the Tribeca Festival, which is April 24th through May 5th.
Okay.
So the next couple weeks, and
right.
Everyone thinks it's Death Stranding related stuff, of course. So
why would they think that?
yeah, right. Some Borderlands info came out. Some drama came out with that with Troy Baker, and they showed what's his name?
Whatever his character is named.
Oh, Reese. Yes.
They showed Reese from Tales from the Borderland, and someone was asking Troy if he was going to be in the game, and he's like, no one contacted me about it. And then
Randy Pitchford
was like, oh, well, my sound director told me that Troy Baker turned it down. And so now we're like, oh, who's lying? Who's being the jerk? Which is sad because I love Troy Baker and I want him in everything.
Everybody should love Troy Baker. Troy Baker.
Yeah.
I think I've said 10 million times on this podcast, too. If you haven't played Tales from the Borderlands,
Finger guns.
play it.
Yeah.
Yes. Troy, well, everybody in that game makes their character. So
yeah.
It'll be sad that if he's not him and he plays any sort of significant role in that game. Because honestly, in my opinion, the gameplay is great, but I actually really am invested in those characters because it's like the right kind of ridiculous, funny that has a lot of heart to it at times, and I really enjoy it. So
yeah. We played the first chapter when we were trying to stay up before getting on the plane. Because we were like, oh, we're just gonna stay awake for like 36 plus hours, so then we fall asleep when we get on that 14-hour flight. Spoiler, it didn't work. But we got about a chapter through. Okay. So we still have the other 4 we got to do when we get home because I've never played them. Just watched a bunch of stuff on them. And then Saturday we're gonna be getting some news. So tomorrow.
Okay.
Or Saturday America time, so that's like a day and a half.
Day and a half, yeah.
At Star Wars Celebration, they're gonna have some announcements about the next EA game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
So we're gonna see what that's like.
I wonder if that's gonna be like a sequel to like Jedi Outcast, or if it's just gonna be a whole new thing.
I feel like they're gonna do a whole new thing because it's EA.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, they would.
But I'm not positive.
Okay.
Disney Plus was announced, and it is coming to Switch, which at launch, which is interesting since a lot of streaming services are taking forever to get on the Switch.
All right. So are they also going to be on PS4 and
PS4 and Xbox as well?
Okay. So it's just Switch is the kind of outlier because everything else takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can now change your PSN name, but good luck because it is still not 100% secure. Some people have been losing their friends list. And other things like anything where there's a high score or there's going online with that username, there's been risks and problems. But they told us that when they were announcing the game or the name changes earlier this year. So
yeah, they did. I think it's just somehow however they implemented it from the very beginning was just, I don't know how it's hardwired or hard whatever, but yeah, it's strange to me. Considering because 360 has had name changes for a while now, not 360, but Xbox or Microsoft. A lot of other places have name changes since they are implemented, and then it's just weird that PlayStation never even had that thought. Yeah,
it was. I remember when they were coming out about it before. It was like I don't know too much about the coding back end, but it essentially like when you make a name with Xbox, you have a name. Penny Lane DC, but Xbox doesn't see you as Penny Lane DC. They see you as a string of X amount of numbers.
Exactly.
So they can make the X amount of numbers look like whatever username you pay them to have it.
Yep.
PlayStation was just like, oh no, you're Penny Lane DC. You're not other numbers. You're not anything. So you always, that's why it has to say Penny Lane DC or whatever your username is. So changing that requires them to change their entire back end.
Yeah.
I never understood why they couldn't do something like Steam does, where you're always whatever you made your account as, but you could change your display name to whatever constantly. Like you're still this, but then like, so as far as the server's concerned, you're that, but then attached to that is this, and that's what other people see. It's just a vanity thing. And I feel like that would be simple, but apparently not.
Yeah, I think it should be simple, but I guess because, you know, people are changing their names, you might have maybe your display name is the same as somebody's original name that they're no longer going by, so that name's freed up. That's all I could think of, but you know, who knows? It could be many things.
On that note, that screws me up with Steam so many times when I add people. They're like, what's your Steam name? And I'm like, crap, do I give you the one that I log in with? Or I give you my other one? Because my one I logged in with is like the one I made up in middle school, so it sucks. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, those childhood names, they come back to bite you, man. Like, especially us, because we didn't really, you know, a lot of us growing up, we didn't realize, oh, this is just going to be with us forever. This is brand new. No, this is with you forever, man.
Yeah.
And some of us do what I did, which was read the instructions and go, I need to put an underscore and some sort of, you know, other symbol and at capitals. Okay, I guess I'll just make it what my normal stuff is, and I'll just add those things in there. And now Brian has actually stuck with my name.
Yeah, I'm stuck with it. It's okay. I don't mind, but it confuses a lot of people when they're like, all right, Lil Joe. Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Brian.
No. It's little like LIL underscore dash Joe dash 4 or some garbage like that.
It's oh yeah, that's also great when people ask me, oh, so what's your PSN name? Well, here it is. Make sure you put the dashes and underscore in correctly.
Don't read the instructions. Just make whatever name you want. I feel like that would have worked out a lot better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know why so many people are here changing their name day one. Like,
oh, yeah, no.
Wait 6 months, guys. You know, let the people who really need to change their name from like penis vag to something else, you know, let those people work out the kinks. Ha. But you know, and then for you, if you just want to change your name from like Lil Joe to something else, wait 6 months. Yeah. You've been living with this for 10 years. Just let it go. Yeah, we're not changing. Oh no, we're never changing it. I'm just saying, you know. Like, you've been living with this for like 10 years, like I have, like the person next to me. Just go with it, man. What's another 6 months? Nothing. It's gonna be forever, guys. But yeah. So PSN name changes.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Quite interesting. And then probably the biggest news is all the crap going on with the Sekiro and difficulties.
Oh, yeah, do people getting butthurt about that?
People getting so butthurt about it, and it's to the point where it's ridiculous. I don't even have words. Do you want to...
people, you put it like that, people call us out for being, like, awful human beings at this point, basically.
Well, we are.
An opinion about it, but, yeah, honestly, in my opinion, it's a lot of people who are just... you know what? It's just like you answer your own problem. Like, you're not interested in a challenge, and that's fine. But it's become conflated now with the whole movement out there that, I mean, it's totally cool. I don't know. There's a organization called Abled Gamers, led by dude Steven Spawn, who's a paraplegic guy. And that's awesome. Like, I can't even begin to talk about the accessibility stuff. Like, Xbox or Microsoft, for example, showed that crazy ass controller. That, like that's awesome, and I am not equipped to talk about that. But I do not believe for a second that this whole Sekiro thing is hand in hand. Like, a game is hard, period. Versus giving somebody the means to play that game. Like, you're talking about like maybe remapping controls or. For example, the one thing that always comes up a lot, it's a simple thing, but like in God of War, instead of having prompts where you mash the button, you could change that to you just hold the button down, because some people have like major hand or wrist problems or whatever that they can't play games like that. That's an accessibility thing. If you change Sekiro to be modifiable to for people like that, I think that's totally fine. It doesn't really combat the philosophy of the game, but people are talking about making fundamental changes what would be an absolute detriment to the gameplay, at which point, I have to ask, like, I don't understand what you're getting out of the game at that point then. I mean, I enjoy the story and the lore in these games, but that doesn't change the fact that the whole philosophy of the game and what makes them fun and makes them work the way they do is the fact that you are supposed... The tagline for Dark Souls was "Prepare to die."
Yeah.
And that wasn't in the sense of like you're bad and only the strong will prevail. It was get ready for a new old type of way to play games in which you failed a lot until you became a master over that game and you beat it.
Oh, of course. This game highly reminds me of like Battletoads and like Contra and those types of games where it's like, all right, cool. This game is hard because otherwise, if it wasn't, you could beat this game in like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever. So it was a way to kind of artificially, but gameplay wise, that's how they made it, because hey, you just have to get good. And if you don't, this is going to be a replayable thing, because that's the only way we can make this replayable is by just having you guys die a whole bunch and you only have 3 lives. At least with this, you have unlimited lives.
Yeah.
I mean, you only have 2 technically to start with, but you still, even then, you just lose your stuff.
And it's talking about a lot of that. It's crazy to me that Sekiro is the one that gets picked on because it's honestly, as far as difficulty, the most accessible.
Oh yeah,
that they've made since Demon Souls. Because especially now that I've played through 95% of the game is very generous with respawn points, and to the point where you're right back into boss fights immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you get 2 deaths basically, and then sometimes whenever you get the ability to recharge your resurrection power. When a boss has 2 or 3 death blow bars, when you get that first death blow, you regenerate one of your revives. So you could revives up to 3-4 times in a boss fight.
Yeah.
There's plenty of opportunity to learn the mechanics. And I mean, I've not only read the articles, but I go online and I'm reading the people talking about it. And there's, people complaining like, well, I don't want to do this boss fight where I die 50 times and I got to learn. Well, then guess what, man? This game's not for you, because you might think that that's bad design. But, when I went up against Genichiro, which was like it's about a third of the way through the game, and that was the first boss fight where I remember even texting you guys in the chat, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to beat this game, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is breaking me. But then that was also the boss fight that, in a weird, like, subconscious way, was like, you need to learn how to actually play this game. And I eventually did, and it was so satisfying. And then from that point on, I started to approach the game in a more aggressive way, which is what they were telling me to do. And I had not a better time, but I felt like I was more competent in the game, and I probably was enjoying myself in that sense a lot more, which is great, because then there's bigger threats to come, and you're not standing there going like, oh, I can't do this. But you're like, you're going in head first. And that's what the difficulty is all about. It's the risk reward kind of thing. And then when you come out the better, I just don't believe I don't believe for a second, no matter what anyone says, that you're getting the same amount of gratification about putting something on super easy mode where you basically you can just revive a million times against bosses, you barely take any damage, or you do a ton of damage. And I think I even joked with her. I was like, you know what? Okay, you're going to put easy mode in Sekiro, fine. You tell me you beat Sekiro on easy mode, I am going to make fun of you. Basically, is what it's going to come down to.
Like if you want to know the story of that game, watch a playthrough of it.
Right?
Yeah.
We're in this time, we're in this day and age where you can do that. You personally don't have to experience it, because to experience it is to experience dying 1,000 times. Learning it as you're going along with it. But if you just want the story, or if you just want this other thing, watch a playthrough of somebody who actually is good at it.
Well, that's like we've watched people do playthroughs a million times now at this point. Like right now, we watched yesterday, what was it, the world record speedrun?
Yeah.
29 minutes
Oh yeah.
to beat the entire game. And I was like, I'm never going to get that good. I'm probably never going to be able to finish this game, but I can watch someone else do it and enjoy it that way. There's no shame in that.
Well, I would, to clarify, like when I say I'm going to make fun of you, I'm not actually like, there are definitely like elitist douchebags out there who like take way too much pride in like being good at the game. But I mean, like, I'm going to razz you in the sense of like, convenient we have Joe on the podcast because she said many times like she doesn't use any sort of guide at all for anything, and to the point where it's just like, in her opinion, you know, if you do anything like that, it's basically cheating, and you should just like. And I respect that.
I'm a
you know,
monster.
It's the same kind of idea, and I think I'm not gonna give you a hard time about it because me, for example, I'm not great. I'm honestly, I don't think I'm great at games, and the fact that I have beaten all of these games, I think, is a testament that these games are not made for amazingly skilled people. Like, I think it's just a matter of perseverance and
learning.
And then when we're talking about these guys who are running it in 29 minutes, that's the other level. Oh, and that's not required of you to beat this game.
No, it is not. Thankfully.
It's a small side note on this. Where were these people when I was playing Animal Crossing trying to collect all of the things and Red would take like 30,000 bells from me? Where were these accessibility garbage people then? Where is it then? What? It's okay for a game to take all my money and I can't get all the stupid fossils and all the stupid pieces of paintings and things? Oh, I could take 3 years to spend on a game and doing that, but no, don't make it easier for me. Yeah, I get it. You know what? Only matters when it's like murder and death and all the really cool looking games that have yokai in them and the crap. No,
it doesn't matter when I'm trying to pay off my house.
Right?
It's sometimes you can't find the golden beetles easy enough.
Right? Maybe they need to make games easier for me to be able to collect things in Animal Crossing. Maybe I don't have enough bells. Maybe I
don't need to slow down to the point where I'm like moving at like a millimeter per like 30 seconds so that stupid beetle doesn't fly away when I'm just trying to catch it.
You know what? Screw the beetle. Screw the spiders. Screw those stupid scorpions. Where were those people helping me? Where were those people for me? Do you know how hard it is to catch one of those spiders? Okay, so I'm sorry. I love Sekiro, by the way.
Animal Crossing's already on easy mode, guys. I'm just saying.
You're dead to me.
It's not on any mode because they won't give it to me for my flippin' Switch yet.
It's made for children.
You can die in fire, Brian.
I have to sleep next to that.
Do you think children need to know how to make payments on a loan, Brian? That's an adult thing to do.
Yeah, they do. They do need to learn that because they're going to learn it someday.
But not when they're kids. I don't got to worry about a loan when I'm a child, but I got to worry about it now. And then thank goodness that game was there to teach me adult things.
Especially that first game, you didn't even have a choice to not accept the loan. It was just as soon as you paid that off, it's like, well, here's another loan. You're welcome, children.
To teach you, life is hard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's exactly what that is.
Get a helmet.
Well, that is what, funny enough, that is what, since we're here in Japan, the gacha machines, that is what gacha machines are for. It's to teach children that you're not always going to get what you want from this machine. Like, you might only want one thing from that, but if you only get this, you only get to use it once. If you don't get it, well, that's life.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
We had to deal with that. We put in the little thing. We got a little Conan change purse.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got this random ass guy. We have no idea if we like him or not. We haven't watched the show yet. We just really like seeing
Conan.
it everywhere. So
the movie did open today, by the way.
Yeah.
We should go see it.
We should go see it and not know what's going on because none of us speak Japanese.
Dude, the mysteries are not that hard.
They're not.
Yo, she randomly wikied this stuff because I've never seen an episode.
Oh, really?
It blew my mind to find out that the kid is actually an adult.
Yeah.
When the series starts, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that first episode, he tries to stop some bad people doing bad things, and
Gin and Tonic, I think their names are.
I think so, and
yeah.
and he tries to stop them, and he gets poisoned. But instead of killing him, he turns into a child.
Well, I got the coin purse that has him as a not child.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this guy kind of looks like the main character, and his name is like the same.
Uh-huh.
But he looks so much older. Like, does the kid grow up? And then I was like, no, he goes young.
That's the
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
time skip.
I have that one.
Yeah.
And then he,
Yeah, you have Conan, and then you have Conan Ball Z. And then when Conan has a kid, it's the GT version.
Oh my god.
Anyways, that was a long tangent.
That was a
Unrelated to anything.
Slight tangent.
Whoa, it's actually related.
Yeah.
I cannot wait because today is the day that the Conan game, the Shin Buddies, drops. I'm gonna make Brian put it on their phone so that I can play this game in Japanese.
Yeah, we got to put it on our on the Android phone because I think it's a Japanese only game.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's not gonna go on to the Switch or the Switch. Our iOS
It's probably not going to go on the Switch
No,
either.
it's not gonna go on the Switch either. It looks like a kiddie game, like as kiddie as you can get game.
I'm offended by that.
Hey, it's Detective Conan. That's what he's for. He's at 900 episodes. He should have grown up by now, Joe.
He did, and then he got it taken away from him multiple times.
Yeah, I know. That's what they do. But all right, so let's go back. Is there any more news that we have, Caitlyn?
Not really. Falcon Age came out. That looks really cute, and that's all I got.
Falcon Age, woo! Falcon
VR.
Punch.
Oh, and soon you'll be able to play VR on your Switch.
That's right. I think that dropped today.
Oh, did that drop
It dropped today, at least in Japan. It dropped on the 12th.
Okay.
At least I saw an advertisement for it, and it said 412. So I'm going to take that as gospel.
There we go.
I haven't personally seen it, but I'm going to go with that.
And I'm so excited to play Breath of the Wild in VR. I just need to buy a Labo kit.
Well, we are in a place where you can.
Okay, seriously. I'll buy one of those kits if you guys want to play it. I'm about that life.
Well, speaking of which, earlier today, we went around Super Potato, which is an older, like retro style game store that sells a whole bunch of just.
It's super.
It's super, and it's a potato, where you get really, if you're looking for any game that's older than now, you can find it there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit more expensive because that's how they keep stuff in stock. You're gonna have to really want it. If you don't want to have to search for it, just go and pick it up there. But we went and we FaceTimed with our other two jolly fellows, Troy and Lewis, of which only one was able to see, which was Troy, but he was basically being the best seeing eye dog for Lewis and explaining everything. So
I didn't even realize he was explaining it to Lewis at first. I thought he was explaining it to Amanda.
Oh.
and then about halfway through, Lewis said something like, "I wish I could see this," and I was like, "Oh, he can't see anything right now."
No, he can't see anything. So it worked out pretty well though, as far as it worked out as best as we could hope for. One person could see, both could hear. But yeah, we went through that, and then we realized that we need to have a Windjammers tournament.
Yes.
Because on the very top floor of Super Potato, there was a Windjammers arcade. And we were all playing it for the very first time.
It was great.
It was pretty great. We were all, because there's only two buttons. Two buttons, and we still couldn't figure out what super moves were, what anything was going. I'm sure they explained it at the very beginning. We just weren't looking. So look forward to a tournament that we're gonna have between all of us dragons.
Yep.
If you don't know what it is, it's just basically two buff dudes throwing a frisbee as hard as they can at each other.
Yeah, it's
pretty
Pong.
awesome.
It's Pong with muscular dudes.
Basically, yeah. And sometimes the frisbee lights on fire and you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. You're charging yourself up and you don't know what's going on. You don't know where it's going to go, but you're having fun.
Zach was doing this move where he made fireballs to come out and I was like, what the button? There's two buttons. How are you making this happen?
I don't know, because he was doing that consecutively
Yeah.
for a many a turn. And so also before then they had this 3D Pong. Speaking of Pong, it actually was two paddles, but they were not 3D printed, but they were something, and they were being controlled, I think, by magnets underneath.
They look almost like foam, like cosplay foam.
Yeah, it was like foam. Yeah, definitely. And so you had a little, what is it, steering wheel pretty much that you were using to control them. and there was a slight lag
yeah,
between the
That
two.
lag was more than slight. I stand by it.
It couldn't handle a tight spin. You had to carefully,
Yeah.
no matter what.
I tried to play it while recording it through the camera. I had to put the camera down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. We all played it. Oh, I just spit a little bit. We all played it a little bit. Yeah, that was so weird because there's, and then while you guys were playing, I think Caitlyn, you were playing Tetris. I was like, I'm gonna play Pong against the computer. That computer whooped me 10-2.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that computer, it didn't matter where it was, that computer was going to be there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a terrible idea. This was regular Pong, I'd have a shot, but not this.
Were your two like the first two moves, and then after that it was like, okay, now that the humans had some fun.
Oh, no. It like 3-0'd me, and then I was able to get one.
Okay.
And then it got up to 9-1, and I was able to score again. I was like, all right, so at least I did got more than one. It was not a complete and utter failure. But have you guys had any specific moments in Japan, not just gaming related, but anything related that you guys would like to share with anyone?
We picked up a ton of games so far.
Oh, yeah?
Because I like to collect even if I never plan on playing this. Although I am looking for working Famicom this time, because even if I can't read the games, I want to pop them in just because there's at least one game that never came out in America, Seiken Densetsu 3. So and it's never gonna come out, so I wanted to check it out. In fact, I was really mad. I saw that when we were in Yodobashi, which I don't know, it's basically like a Japanese Best Buy.
Yeah, but it's got everything.
Yeah, it's got everything. I'm looking at the Switch games, and they released the trilogy of those games on Switch.
Oh, did they?
Seiken Densetsu 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
Which in America is not even the same franchise. It's Final Fantasy Adventure, and then the 2 was Secret of Mana.
Yep.
So they're not even related to each other in America.
And then the third one I think was Secret of Mana 2, if I remember correctly.
But over here, they get everything, and we're not good enough.
It's crazy when you look at when you go to like Mandrake, which is a secondhand store, and which also just has everything, or any of the department stores or any of the gaming stores, and you're like, all right, I wonder what kind of Vita games that they have, and then you look down there, and it's like an entire row and like an entire 4-foot shelf all the way down. It's like, where are all these games in America, man?
Meanwhile, I go to GameStop in America, and there's like 5 games. All but one of them are those fake printed covers.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings up a question that maybe one of you guys could speak to. I was wondering, did the Japanese just preserve their physical media better over here? Because you can't find retro games in the States, I feel like.
They do actually. They actually take care of all of their stuff extremely well. And whereas in America, it's like, all right, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm just gonna throw it away. Especially in the NES games and stuff like that. You couldn't do anything else with it, and it was just taking up space. So a lot of people were just throwing away games, or there's also a lot of gross people that were just destroying games. So and then also same exact thing with like boxes. A lot of people just didn't keep boxes. They take up a lot of space, especially those Genesis games and the Nintendo games. So a lot of people are just throwing out boxes and stuff. Whereas here, everybody just preserves everything that they have. It's great. You can find you can go into Super Potato. I think I saw 8 copies of Final Fantasy IV that were just on the shelf, and they were all pristine copies.
Well, that was like I was telling you when we were there. I didn't get it at Super Potato, but I still think there's something wrong with it. I found a copy of Chrono Trigger with the original box and the manual and the cartridge, and the box, it's not even like a damaged old yellowing box.
Yeah.
I was like, is this like, are they screwing with me here? But
Is it just the box?
they had like 4 of them there, and they weren't expensive either. And I was just like, oh, I guess maybe this is just a commonplace item over here. Whereas to find to get a complete original copy of Chrono Trigger in English, you're going to be coughing up money for that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like that for most of the games here. I mean, it's great. I love seeing all the games, but man, I really wish we just had those same types of things in America. I mean, granted, you could play those with ROMs and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said about having the physical cartridge in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, even if you decide you don't want it anymore, like I will I've bought in collector's editions of games that I realized like I didn't really need or didn't like as much, and I'm like, well, I'd rather like sell it back to a store or something so it can go to a better home, right? Like rather than just throwing it in the garbage. Cause it's not like this is gonna be like commonplace eventually someday, you know. Especially when I go into these places and I say that Super Potato is almost like a library too, just because some of these games if I had not come here, I would have never actually physically seen before.
Yeah.
And with the way Nintendo is, for example, with their distributing their older media, there's not a legal way to play a lot of these games anymore. So,
very much. How about you, Caitlyn?
Speaking of Nintendo, we saw the unrelated to Nintendo carts driving around, which I thought was entertaining. Which
is strange to me because they already got sued.
Yeah.
And Nintendo won, so I don't know what they're still doing on the road.
On every single part of this car, it says the words "unrelated to Nintendo" in either English or Japanese.
Gotcha.
So I think that's how they're trying to get around it, even though someone's in a Pikachu costume.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy just has that cost. That's just what he wears.
Oh, totally. They just sold it to them before they start to drive, and then they just buy it back when they come back.
We went to the best. Okay. So everyone knows what 7-Eleven is.
Yeah.
Something similar to 7-Eleven over here is called Lawsons.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to one that is Dragon Quest themed.
Yep.
And like you walk in and it makes the little like blue ooze like jump noise, and it's like adorable, and there's so much ooze stuff everywhere. I got a Dragon Quest Builders 2 bag.
Excuse me, they're called slimes.
Whatever. They're called adorable. That's all I need to know.
That's true.
I didn't want to correct you either.
Yeah. They had tote bags, t-shirts, coins, pressed coins, glasses, bento boxes, what else? A million other things.
Yeah.
All with the blue guy on it. And I just wanted it all. I only ended up getting a tote bag and a coin. But I wanted it all. It was great.
And she calls them that because every single time she sees them, she's like, ooh.
We found out that that's not the only Lawson like that.
No,
when we were in Osaka, the Dindin Town has one as well.
Oh, that's
We walked
dope.
by and I was like, what? I was so excited.
Yeah, because the one we went to was in Akihabara.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm sure they probably have other ones if there's other like nerd location type things that I'm sure that they probably deck them out like that. But it's also Lawsons. Which are amazing, by the way.
Other video game related thing, when we were at the Skytree, we learned that Kirbys Birthday is April 27th.
Yes, it is.
We saw the Kirby Cafe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised Kirby Cafe is still there because that was also supposed to be a limited thing, and then I think it just became so big that they just left it in there.
Their reservations looked booked.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, because I think you have to go in the morning in order to get a reservation. Well, for me, my most interesting thing that happened here is not gaming related, but it is funny. We were in Osaka, and we're waiting to get on a train. And so in Tokyo, they have trains that during rush hour are women only, and they're all pink, and you can see that they say women only trains in rush hour. So I was like, okay, I know this. At this point, it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night in Osaka. And so we're waiting to get on a train. Doors open, and there's a whole bunch of people in this line that we're in. But then I see to the left of us, I was like, oh, there's nobody in this line. Let's just, dart over. So we dart over. It's a different train. We get on it, or a different train card, I should say. We sit down, and there's a guy who comes in from the other train as well, but he comes in through the door, through the side door. So he comes in, and then he walks over and he sits down in a seat. And so I was like, all right, cool. This guy knows where it's at. This car is, pretty not full. And then I start looking around and I realize, man, there's a lot of women on this train.
Oh, God, Brian.
And I was like, huh, that's weird. And then I look at the door and it says, this is a women only train. But it doesn't have a specific time. It just says this is a women only train. And I look down and I start looking around and I realize, oh, they're all women on this train with the exception of me and this other dude that just happened to walk in on this train.
God.
And I think the dude realized about a minute after I did, but he's sitting down in the middle of just a gaggle of women that are all just wondering, like, what the heck's this guy doing here? At least me, I have tourist immunity. Like,
Yeah.
just stupid dude, he doesn't realize what's going on.
Stupid dude. You have your wife next to you.
Yeah,
at least.
exactly. At least I have like a little bit of a buffer going on here. This guy's just in the middle of these girls, and he's just rubbing his eyes, like, "Oh man, I think I know where I am." So in case you guys are wondering, in Osaka, women-only trains are all the time, not just during rush hour.
We did see one of those and got on one, but it was not during rush hour.
It's not rush hour, so you're
good.
fine. Yeah, exactly. So when we were getting off, though, because we were only roaded for one stop. That's all we had to go. So we get off, though. Where we were getting off was Shin Osaka. So where we got off, when you look down, there is giant signs that just say women only train, like on the floor, on the outside of the train, everywhere. It's just, this is a women only train. As I'm walking, I'm like, man, these are all women. Oh man, at least I'm not that guy though. At least I'm a tourist. Immunity. But yeah, I think that's my favorite story so far. Going on a women-only train.
You handled that better than I would. I'd be so upset.
Again, if I was alone, I would have been. I think as soon as I would have realized, I would have just quietly got up and walked into the other car.
You just go in the corner.
Yeah. But where we got on, though, the first station where we got on, there was a wall, so they didn't have all that signage on the floor. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even know until we were inside, and it was way too late at that point. So how about you, Joe? What's your favorite thing, or most out there thing that you've been enjoying here in this fabulous country?
It is fabulous.
Called Japan.
I'm trying to think. Oh no. Oh, okay. Not video game related. Unfortunately, sorry. We opted out of getting regular rail passes this year and got green passes because we were like, yeah, let's waste another $200. It'll be fun. We get these passes, and I'm like, yay, it's gonna do wonders for us. I look up what the green passes mean. So on the bullet trains is Shinkansens. You have regular rail passes because I'm a tourist and it's awesome, and we can buy cheaper, a pass that'll get us all over the place as opposed to having to pay for, each one of them round trip. So we're stoked. We have these extra awesome green passes. I look everything up on them. You're supposed to be really, really quiet. The seats are better. Everything is supposed to be like super nicer, and it's like swanky, not necessarily fancy, because regular Shinkansen seats are awesome and fine the way they are. Everything is nice already. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is great. We get our very first train. I'm very excited. We're going in the green car. It's got a little 4-leaf clover on the side of it. I'm like, this is awesome. This is gonna be the greatest thing ever, and everyone's gonna be really quiet, so I can put my headphones on and I can edit while I'm sitting on the train for a couple hours. This is the best. We get on the train. And then a family walks in with a child and the grandparents. And they're absolutely of either American or European or something.
They're
English
not American.
speaking.
They're not American.
Okay,
No.
good. I'm glad they're not with us.
No.
But they get on the train, and I was never more horrified for anyone in my life. This kid ran up and down the aisle screaming and would tap the backs of the chairs and play with the seat rest thingies.
Oh, God.
And then the family would just stand there and talk at the front of the train like where we are. And they just stood there and they chatted in regular vocal, and I was freaking out because I had spent a lot of time making sure I didn't do anything that was super jerk touristy. And then when I read about these tickets, I was like, all right, you're supposed to be super chill on this. You're not supposed to be a jerk face. Don't be a jerk face. And then there was these people, the very first train we were on, these that were just the biggest jerk faces.
I would have tripped the child.
I'm
At one point, the child's so the doors on the Shinkansen trains, all you have to do is just wave your hand in front of them and they open up. This child, for probably about a good 5 minutes, was just in front of the door waving his hand so it would open, and then as soon as it was shut, he would wave his hand and it would open again. And it was it was maybe not 5 minutes, but at least 3 minutes in a row, and we were only 2 rows back from that door opening.
Is that the one that sounded like whipped cream?
No, that was a different Shinkansen we were on. It's still part of that, but yeah, one of the doors we were on for one of the trains, it would open behind us when people would walk in and out, And it sounded like the sound of when whipped cream, people use the, Ready Whip?
Yeah.
And they would put it in their mouth and then turn it upside down and they would squirt the whipped cream in their mouth. It was that that sound. It was the worst sound ever, but it went off like constantly for a good like hour of the train ride. So every time I was like, is someone eating whipped cream around me? Like, what is happening here?
I will say that's probably a little better than some of the JR trains are making noises that sound like a dog is dying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, some of them are pretty bad.
So the best part about this family, though.
Oh my god. So we were on our way to a completely different area on our first train. We were going to Matsumoto. They stayed on the train when we left in Matsumoto. We're like, okay, sayonara, good riddance. I'm really glad that the first trip I ever took in the green car was definitely the loudest train I've ever been on in my whole life in Japan. This is great. We go hang out in Matsumoto, which is the most dope castle ever. We get up into it, we get down, we go back to the Shinkansen. There's cherry blossoms all over the place. We're super chill, everything is great. Head to Kyoto, get off the train, walk through a gajillion tourists, get to our hotel. We put everything in, check in, put everything upstairs. I'm like, yeah, we're going to walk over to this giant weeping cherry blossom thing. It's going to be baller. Walk outside, and that child is standing there.
Oh, God.
Crying into his mother.
They followed you.
Staying at the same hotel as us.
Oh, my God.
So I have no idea why, because Matsumoto's in a completely different area, and they stayed on the train, which means they went even further north. Whereas Kyoto is in the south central type area, and it was like, how? What's going on here?
They were waiting.
And at first we're like, because like I saw her, then Joe saw her, we kind of turned to the left, and then both of us looked at each other like, that was the lady? How? They're like, nah, that couldn't have been. And then like the more I thought about it, I was like, no, that was the child. That was absolutely the child and the mother. Oh my God.
I can't wait for in 2 days Joe and Brian to meet us downstairs, and they're like, you guys, we just left Starbucks and there was a child outside.
It would not surprise me, because it's just so weird, because this is Joe and I's 7th time here, and it's just so weird that in a country of millions with tourists that number in the millions for this time of the year, for all of these people, that you still somehow see like the same type of people or the same person, even when you're just traveling randomly. Like there, you'll see like one person when you're in like Shibuya, and you're like, all right, cool, that guy's kind of weird looking or whatever, and then you're like, all right, cool, let me go to, I don't know, Akihabara now. So you go to Akihabara and you're walking around, and you're like, how is that guy here now? That's okay, whatever. And then like 2 days later, you're just in a completely other separate area, and there's that dude again. It's like, but there's millions of people. There's millions of people in this city alone.
Yeah. Well, that's like how there's a great tradition of Tate's employees being recognized while they're in Japan.
Yeah.
Tate's Comics, a comic book store in South Florida,
Yeah.
on the other side, 13-hour time difference.
Yep.
And Tate's employees still get recognized when they're over here.
Yeah, I think 5 out of the 7 times we've been here, we've been recognized.
Yeah.
And not even having our shirts on. We're just like, Tate's, hey.
Yeah.
It's like, hey. Like, I'll have, you can please say hi to us or whatever. I don't care. But it's still when it's like, how?
Yeah.
In fact, one of the people was like, we were at Akihabara, and it's this awesome lady that just comes here, and she purchases stuff because she resells it in the United States, and like we saw her, and she's like, hey, and we're like, we're pretty chatty with her and everything. We're like, so you're here at the same time we are? She's like, yeah, I'm buying all this stuff. We're like, so you're the one purchasing all the things we want to buy for ourselves. Damn it. This is why everything's so expensive now, because you're buying it all.
It was very eye-opening.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's right. Let's also talk about we went to the Kawasaki Warehouse.
Oh my God, that place was awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like a on purpose derelict building. You absolutely know what the building is as soon as you like round the corner, because everything's nice, pristine, shiny.
Especially with the Olympics coming, everything's getting updone.
Yeah, everything's being got a spit shine on it. Everything's got window wash, and then you like there's this building that's completely derelict on the outside, which that thing's also clean as all get out.
Oh, yeah.
However, it just is painted to look this way. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. Like as you walk through it, like on one of the sides, it's like a Stargate that you walk through, and like you have to walk over like these giant stones with like liquid in between, where if you do miss, you will be like your foot will go into water.
I was holding on to those handrails so tight.
Yeah. And it's like what if it was like Akira, like just really like, oh man, it's and like as we were going up the escalators, it's like, wow, it was so, like somebody got paid to put flyers up and then like rip them off like all shabbily, so that way it looks like this has been lived in for decades.
Or people with big backpacks just happen to hit all the stuff off the side of the wall.
Yeah, I don't know who would have done that, Caitlyn.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
That was really funny because one of them was like barely hanging on, and Caitlyn's backpack is just gently brushing the side. And then also I see it take it with it. I was like, oh God, Caitlyn, no. It was pretty great. But I mean, they have like one of the floors is like half of the floor is just really old arcade games. But it's not just old arcade games. They actually have a sign up that says, hey, look, this was made in 1980. They had the original Street Fighter arcade there with the original buttons, original everything. And it's like, hey, here's a sign that's in front. It's like Street Fighter, 1980s. I mean, it's all in Japanese, but it all, I'm sure, is like the history of this arcade game and, and whatnot. And like they had like an Outrun as well that was like the full car that I've never seen before. I always had like the stand-up one, and the full car, as you're driving it, like it weight shifts as well. So like if you turn left, the car actually shifts to the right, and it's like, oh, this is pretty dope. And then they have like normal Japanese arcade games, which like the music games that you guys played, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
We somehow screwed it up because all the instructions are in Japanese. So we're like, okay, we put the 2 coins in, and I was like, okay, well, we'll verse each other. I'll probably get wrecked, but whatever, it'll be fun. Something happened. I was player 1, and I was locked out of the game until Zach played a whole freaking thing himself.
Yeah,
somehow.
Including the tutorial.
Yeah.
But yeah, that place was awesome. I enjoyed it.
We played Pac-Man Royale.
Oh, sorry, yeah, they had Pac-Man Battle Royale, which is hilarious. However, I will give it props. For only $1, whatever, all 4 players get to play. So not each player has to put in $1 in order to play, which I thought was really great. But yeah, they have Battle Royale for everything now. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I got to win a Kirby riding a hamster.
Oh, yeah.
From Kirby 2, the box art from that, which Joe just learned the other day because Joe happened to see that box art in Super Potato in Osaka. And she was like, look at this stupid thing with Kirby riding a hamster. And then we go to the arcades and there's a plush of Kirby riding a hamster.
Which meant I must have it.
But thankfully I did win. I kept it in my what is it, a jacket. And I got to ride with it the entire ride back, which was about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot of people were looking at me.
Yeah, we also had air hockey, girls versus boys. The girls won.
Girls won. Zach and I couldn't get a momentum going or a rhythm going. We were like, all right, this is us. No, that was me. Nope, my bad. Nope. You guys worked together. You guys worked well.
We didn't have that problem.
Yeah, you guys worked well together. Yeah, it was.
Who'd have guessed?
Yeah.
Women working together. Man, that's crazy. Normally you guys hate each other. Yeah. But then like all the other floors were like fighting games and like Tekken 7, the newest one that just came out. Every single one of those machines, there was 8 of them. They were all completely stocked full. There's a Gundam game. I think there was also 8 of them. Those were all completely stocked with people. There was an entire floor of ping pong and darts that you could rent out the tables or the board, and billiards as well. Yeah, that's right. They also had billiards. Caitlyn's giving me like visuals of what they were in there. Yeah. But yeah, that I do highly recommend if you're ever in Japan. Go to Kawasaki Warehouse. It's right outside the station. It's only about a 5-minute walk.
Not even, maybe.
Yeah.
only 5 minutes if you go up the thing with the bikes.
Yeah, which was worth it for
Yeah.
just seeing where all those bikes were. We were definitely not supposed to be there without having bikes.
But it looks so cool.
It did. It looked pretty awesome. But yeah, I that's Japan so far as I could tell. Anything else you guys wanted to mention before we signed off?
We went to the Pokemon Center and that was dope.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you guys went to the
went to a
Tokyo
couple of
one.
them.
Yeah,
We got a Koi King plush.
nice. Koi King, which is Magikarp in the United States.
And then I got a shiny Mimikyu.
Yeah, yes, you did. It was black and white, right?
Yes.
Cool. Nice,
And
nice.
then let's see. I'm trying to see.
And it's also your birthday month, so you got 5% off
I
and a
did.
dope crown that
With
they
my
gave you.
Mew on it. Oh, and I love that there's an actual Pokestop at the one in Sunshine City.
Oh, is there?
You
Oh,
can't
that's
touch
awesome.
it, but it's there. And it's like a little like the symbol for a Pokestop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which
Yeah,
is
they didn't
great.
have those because we went to two. We went to the one in Kyoto. And we went to the one in Osaka. Now that one of them had that.
Yeah. The one at Skytree had this giant Pikachu you could pet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think the Kyoto one had one of the Detective Pikachu like things where you could touch
pet
its tail.
Yeah.
It also had the setup behind it, like all the stores, all the like the grody looking shops that I guess you're gonna see. In the movie. Holy crap! There's so many cool looking shops in that movie.
That sounds
like
so...
one of them was Snap Camera or Snap something, so it was like
Yeah.
Pokemon Snap. There were so many like weird little hidden like a Hitmonchan gym, and like it was really cool. I took a lot of video of just the random stuff in those places. 'Cause it was
I
just
can't wait
pimp.
to see that because they didn't have anything like that at the two we went to.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, the one we had. They also had like the poster or the movie poster for Mewtwo Strikes Back as well, the evolution,
Oh yeah.
and that was pretty awesome. Man, yeah, it was. I completely forgot it that we went to the Pokemon Center. A lot of things we've been doing.
Yeah.
Man.
That Kirby Cafe was adorable.
Yeah,
Didn't
Kirby
eat in
Cafe.
it, but it was adorable.
I want to go so I can sit with a Waddly Dee.
Yeah, if you go there alone, they put a plush on the opposite table, or
That's
not
adorable.
opposite of you from on the table. They do the same thing at like Moomin as well. They put like a Moomin plush on the other side with you.
I think when I think there was a Pikachu cafe or a
Yes.
Pokemon cafe that did it with giant Pikachus as well.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
That'd be dope. I don't know who are you, Zach? I don't know.
Oh yeah, there would be two one people sitting.
Caitlyn and I will go. We'll sit next to each other in separate tables with our
Yeah.
Pikachus.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
And then I think that's the only like relevant stuff I can think of.
Yeah.
Still looking for a copy of Majora's Mask. I saw it in a store and I was like, oh no, I know where it is. I'll come back and get it. And I don't remember what store it was now.
Yeah.
So
That happens way too often.
yeah, there's a lot of video game stores here.
Yes, there
So we'll find out if Caitlyn can find that before she goes back home.
Yeah, we'll find out next episode.
Yeah.
We'll also do our Windjammers tournament.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll try to do that next
It was
week.
so much fun that Zach and I just went on the train and we bought it off Best Buy, so it'll be at home before we even get home.
Yeah, so you guys can't play it though. We all have to be going in blind.
No, that's fine.
All right.
It'll be at my parents. So I have to go pick it up before we
I'm
can.
gonna get like a headband, and I'm gonna be training.
Yeah.
He's gonna put on his jujitsu headband. he's gonna put on his blue belts.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna do that. Man, if only we had that Pong game at home, we could do that type
Oh my
of
god,
tournaments.
we need it, Brian. You're
I'm
smart.
not building that. No.
We know enough people that can help you with like the physical part if you can do the back end part.
Oh yeah, totally. I have to make sure it's authentic, so it also has a second delay of when you do
Yeah.
things.
At least a second.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end this week's episode. Japan's pretty awesome. We'll talk about it more next week as well.
Yes.
'Cause we're here for another entire week.
At least, yeah.
No, just an
Oh, just a
entire
week.
week. It's it. 7 days, really 6-ish
And
days.
then another 14-hour plane ride.
Oh yeah, back to the United States where everything's expensive and not nearly as good food wise.
Oh no. We were able to we get McDonald's breakfast for like roughly $8.50
Yep.
for 2 people, and it's so good and fresh and actually like real food,
Like
not like
clean.
McDonald's crap.
Yeah. Like they actually like you see them cleaning all their stuff. It's
Yeah.
all fresh and
My eggs aren't just like that flat little thing that looks they just microwaved it and it's all gross.
oh, they do just microwave.
Well, yeah, but
but yeah. Yeah,
and I get melon Fanta.
I know, right? Like I always know when I'm back in the United States when like the first thing I eat at the food court in the the random airport that I'm in is like, oh sweet, I can pay $20 for a really terrible piece of fish or or chicken or whatever it is, and it's like, oh yeah, this is also the cheapest thing on the menu.
Well, that's like when we were coming back last time at our midway point. There was a Dunkin' Donuts, and we were like, we'll just get 2 Dunkin' Donut sandwiches. It was like 3 times the price, and the service was terrible.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's great. Welcome to America. Woo! Well, that was this week's Taste of Dragons. We were again here in Japan, Tokyo, the motherland ish. Ba-da-ba. Once again, my name is Brian.
And I'm Joe.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Caitlyn.
Have a great week, everyone. See you next week back in the United States. Woo!
Woo!